Good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m. This is the June 22nd, 2023 meeting of the Town of Bridgewater Conservation Commission. My name is Bob Rulli. I am the Director of the Office of Community and Economic Development. And in the absence of Wendy Smith, the chair, I'll be conducting the meeting tonight. Just need to read the disclosure pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. This meeting of the Conservation Commission for the Town of Bridgewater be hybrid and accessible to the public through remote participation to the greatest extent possible. There'll be no public attendance permitted. Citizens who wish to tune into the meeting may do so via Zoom, and the Zoom link was part of the agenda. I would just ask that if you are in attendance and your application is not being considered, you keep yourself muted. If you are a member of the public, when we get to public comment, if you'd like to speak, just use the raise your hand feature. We do have a quorum. Mr. Bailey is here, Ms. Prisco is here, Ms. McDonald is here. Ms. Smith has an excused absence, and Ms. Serber had a medical emergency, but we do have a quorum. I did not see the minutes in the package, so I'm going to defer those to the next meeting for approval. The next agenda item is public comment. If there is anyone in attendance that would like to comment on anything that is not on the agenda, please indicate so. And not seeing any. So the first matter is public hearing, new business. Let me just say that I like to run efficient meetings. I don't like meetings that go more than an hour. So I'm just going to say that if you submitted a complete application, members have had a chance to review that. We don't need you to review it again. If you'd like to highlight something that wasn't included or summarize it quickly, do so. If members of the commission have questions, they'll ask you, and then we'll allow for a public comment on each application. So having said that, the first matter is request for determination, 6 Birch Hill Road, map 82, lot 3, applicant representative Edward Ferreira, Silva Engineering. The green cards have been received and the legal advertisement was duly published. With that having been said, I will give it to either Rebecca or Mr. Ferreira. And if I didn't pronounce your name right, sir, I apologize.
That's okay. I'm going to defer to Rebecca first. Start up.
I would put the plan on the screen if I could.
Yeah, let me just give you that.
And we'll
there you go. You
just
should be good, Rebecca.
Excellent. And we'll briefly go over the request for determination. So we are at 6 Birch Hill Road. The reason it's an RDA is because we are not disturbing any surface land. We are actually putting an addition onto the building and we're going up. So we are taking the 1-story dwelling and we're creating a 2nd story in the same footprint. And so all I have outlined here is an erosion control area for a staging of materials as he's bringing in roofing or timber or, you know, flooring. There's a dumpster area. There is a portable toilet, everything you would need to be able to renovate your house.
Mr. Ferreira, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I mean, I believe they're in the field notes there. The only excavating I'm doing is for 4 footings inside of the basement, and those spoils will be disposed of off-site. That's it.
Good. Any members of the commission have any comments, questions, or concerns?
I'm good. Straightforward. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Harry? Paging Harry.
I'm good.
Thank you. Eileen? Rebecca, if you don't mind, stop your screen share so I can see who else is here.
I'm all set.
Thank you, Eileen.
Yep.
Are there any members of the public in attendance that would like to comment on the plan for or against? Use the raise your hand feature, or if you have your camera, wave at me or do something else. Not seeing any. Is there then a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Thank you, Eileen. Is there a second?
Second.
Marilyn, I'll do a roll call vote. Eileen?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Harry?
Aye.
Okay, so with respect to the request for determination, is somebody interested in making a motion?
Motion for negative determination, 6 Birch Hill Road, map 82, lot 3.
Thank you, Marilyn. Is there a second?
Second.
Eileen, thank you. Roll call vote. Harry?
Aye.
Thank you. Eileen?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Great, thank you. This is how we run efficient meetings.
Excellent job. You have a great night.
You're a
Thank you.
man after me.
Thank
Oh,
you.
The next matter
Thank you.
is, and Greg, I'm going to ask that we combine both of these, please.
Sure.
Their request for determination, Southbrook Dam. The applicant representative in both cases is the town of Bridgewater. Green cards were received, advertisement was published, and you all received the package and the information. Is there anything else, Greg, that you would like to share with respect to the submittal?
Well, everything's in the package. I can call up a PDF from my computer, but it's not very clear. It's the same map of the dam that you have in your RDA package.
Mhm.
But just a history as to why we're doing what we're doing is the DCR, the Department of Conservation and Recreation. It's a state agency that oversees dam safety inspections and regulations. And every 5 years, we have to submit a report. And with our dams, they have an earthen embankment along the side of the road, and they have mature trees growing out of them. And the state regulations look at mature trees as being a threat to the safety of the dam. In case a high wind comes down, the tree blows over, the root ball comes up, and on an earthen dam that could cause structural compromise with the dam. So what we're proposing to do for both dams outlined in each RDA is to cut the trees that are along the dam's embankment. Most of these trees are in the right of way of the streets that run over the dam, or across the dam, I should say. We're not going to pull out the root balls. We're just going to cut the trees. We're not going to be cutting trees along the edges of the pond that the dam forms. We're just going to, most of the trees will be limited to the right of way of the road where the dam embankment exists. There are some other spillway repairs that need to be done. It's routine maintenance. A lot of it is cleanup work. There might be a grate that needs to be replaced. Some bricks might have gotten loose and they have to be restored. There's a head wall on one of the dams where a tree grew out and pushed a stone out. We've got to hand cut that. It's a small tree. It's about, 5 inches in diameter, maybe 4, and pull that out and mortar back in the stone that got pushed out. There is a spillway from the road. This is surface water runoff from the road that discharges off the road. It's a paved spillway that takes water off the road, and the water has been flowing over the dam and it's been causing erosion. That's another thing that we have to look at and redivert the water so it doesn't cause an erosion issue. So those are the things that we have to do. We have been mandated to do them by the state. And to do so, the state has required us to file with the Conservation Commission because we're required to do so by law under the Wetlands Protection Act. And that's basically the long and short of this project.
Thanks, Greg. Do any commission members have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Public safety is the main concern. I have no concerns with these repairs. Thank you.
Eileen?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Harry?
No, no questions. Very good, Greg.
And are there any members of the public that I don't see, but I have to ask, that are here that would like to comment? Not seeing any, I would ask, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Harry, second by Eileen. I'll do a roll call vote. Harry?
Aye.
Eileen?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
And then I would ask, is there a motion to consider both of the two requests for determinations with respect to the Southbrook Dam?
I'll make a motion for request for a negative determination for Southbrook Dam. Do you want them at the same time?
Yes. Yeah.
And South Street Pond Dam.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Harry.
Harry, roll call. Eileen?
Aye.
Harry?
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. Have a nice evening.
I am not the chairman.
Well, acting chairman. Sorry.
It is not in my job description.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a very nice evening.
Thank you, Greg. The next matter is a request for determination, 145 Winter Street, map 88, lot 21. Applicant representative is Steve Kennedy, Strong Point Engineering. Is there someone here to speak to this matter?
Yes, there is. Not Mr. Chairman, but Mr. Rulli. For the record, for the record, Eric Dias, registered professional engineer with Strong Point Engineering on behalf of the applicant.
Great, thank you, Eric. Is there anything else you would like to add that wasn't in the submittal?
No, all I'll say is that we're filing this land disturbance permit request under the stormwater management bylaw. We've already received site plan approval from the planning board. As a part of that, the entire plan was vetted by your town engineer, received his approval. I can't imagine that there's much more that needs to go into it than that at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Dias. Do any members of the commission have any comments, questions, or concerns?
I do not.
Thank you, Eileen. Marilyn?
No, I don't. I know that area, and it sounds like the engineer looked over it good, so I have no concerns. Thank you.
Harry?
All set. Thank you.
Okay, and is there any member of the public that would like to be heard on this application? Please raise your hand or do some other thing to get my attention.
No.
Not seeing any. Is there then a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you,
Second.
Harry. Is there a second? Thank you, Eileen. I'll do a roll call. Harry? Paging Harry. Thank you,
Harry.
Eileen.
Aye.
Marilyn?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to old business. There
Do we-
is,
Do we want a motion for a negative determination after the closing?
that would be helpful, Marilyn. Thank you.
No worry, I got you back here, Rob.
I appreciate it.
Request
If I may-
negative determination, 145 Winter Street, map 88, lot 21.
Second.
If I may,
Okay, a roll call. Eileen,
Aye.
Marilyn,
Aye.
Harry,
Aye.
Eric, did you have a question?
yes, we're not actually before you for an RDA. It's for a land disturbance permit.
It's listed as a request for determination on the agenda.
I believe the agenda might have an error because we did submit the land disturbance permit application with this.
As I'm going through this, I see that unfortunately, because it's listed as a request for determination, we're gonna have to void that vote and then repost it in fairness. I apologize.
That's okay. I think it's largely a matter of administration at this point, so.
So I would just ask, is there a motion to continue 145 Winter Street to the July 13th meeting?
Motion to continue 145 Winter Street, map 88, lot 21 to July meeting, which is what?
Thank you. I think it's the 13th.
Second.
13.
Thank you, Harry. And Eileen?
You doing a roll?
Carolyn,
Aye.
and Harry. Apologize, Eric.
Aye.
Okay,
Quite all
old
right.
business. Is there any Conservation Commission business that anyone would like to discuss? Not hearing any. The next matter is an administrative item, 1185 Pleasant Street discussion. This is the location for the proposed new fire station. Eric and Kevin and I had a conversation about this a couple of weeks ago. There is a question of an existing vernal pool. There's also some other wetlands on the site. They would like to proceed in finalizing their design and get a read from the commission with respect to, I don't want to speak for you, Eric, how close they are or not to the vernal pool. I think, Marilyn, you might have had some involvement with this previously, but
Yes.
I'll let you speak, Eric, or Kevin, whichever one of you would like to. There's no
Yeah.
action being taken on this tonight, where this is more of a head nod conversation.
Sure. Sure, I'll be glad to take the lead on it. Just for the record, Eric Dias, registered professional engineer with Strong Point Engineering. I'm going to share my screen because I'm sure the commission members probably haven't seen what we're proposing yet. So I think I got to give you a little bit of background here to start with. So let's do this and see if I can pull up a plan. And everybody should be able to see that plan now. Can everybody see this?
Go full screen, Eric.
What's that?
Go full screen. It's still small.
Not sure I know how to go full screen.
Okay, well, never mind.
If it goes too big, then it's going to cut it off.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So this is just very brief history. I know you guys want to get out of here and run an efficient meeting. So this is the site at 1185 Pleasant Street. I've been contracted to handle the site design and permitting aspects of this. A little bit of a challenging site in that there's a lot of wetland out here. This project has been designed to minimize involvement to the wetlands and the wetland buffer zones. We've actually, since we've gotten the final wetland delineation in site survey, we revised the concept a bit, made some adjustments to keep it out of the 25-foot no activity buffer. We're really trying to respect that, with the exception of the entrance. So this would be considered in a limited project, which, as you know, means the only way that we can access the upland portion of the site is to go through a wetland area and a buffer zone. I'm going to zoom in on that area a little bit because that's the crux of this entire conversation. This area right here, where my cursor is, has been identified by the botanist who it was Ken Thompson, who I'm sure you're all familiar with, as a vernal pool. And he's gone as far as producing the certification paperwork and filing that with Natural Heritage. Now, when you go out to the site, this vernal pool is very much the result of runoff from the neighboring property. I don't know that it's necessarily fed by groundwater. I can't say yes or no, but certainly that's a determination that Ken would have made. Now, a couple of things. As you know, with regard to the state bylaw, vernal pools have 100-foot protection around them, habitat protection. It doesn't extend beyond the boundaries of the BVW into upland area. But the local says that any vernal pool that holds more than a quarter acre foot of water is subject to certain regulation under the local bylaw. So right off the bat, if I do the math to see what this vernal pool will hold based on this area, it would have to be 6 feet deep to qualify under is holding a quarter acre foot of water under the local bylaw, and it's certainly not. So I don't know that it qualifies under the local, but for the sake of conversation, let's say that it does. And it's got that 100-foot protective buffer around it. Now, the bylaw doesn't explicitly say what is allowed within that 100-foot protective buffer. If we try to stay completely outside of that 100-foot buffer, our only option is to take this entrance and push it further westward. As we do that, what you'll see is we are going to disturb a lot more wetland. We're not going to be able to span the whole wetland. We're going to have to fill it in. We're going to have to replicate things like that. So our practical argument is that since this is a limited project, since we don't believe this vernal pool qualifies under the local, we feel that there could be some practical cooperation with regard to the buffer zone that would allow us to access the site in the location shown to minimize wetland impacts. And before we went completely crazy with our design, this is obviously the gateway to everything. So we wanted to come in and have a conversation with you folks, just kind of take the temperature in the room and see what you might be willing to work with us on for this project before we go crazy here.
So Eric, is it fair to say that you're looking for some feedback as to whether this would just be a request for termination or an NOI?
I think it's a definite NOI filing because we are doing a wetland crossing and we are going to be within the 25-foot buffer zone. Just more so, you know, is the commission comfortable with what they're seeing as far as work within that vernal pool buffer zone? Or you know, knowing that the alternatives are to basically create more disturbance in the wetland, which we obviously don't want to do.
And is it fair to say that the property that abuts this to the east is higher elevation, hard surface, that there is a strong likelihood that some of the water that's collecting in the vernal pool is stormwater runoff?
100%, yes, it is. In fact, if you go out there in a rainstorm, you can literally see it happen. There's a lot of hardscape on that property to the east, and there's no stormwater management at all. It just discharges onto this piece of property.
Okay, thanks. So at this point, I will open it to comments from commission members, what your thoughts are.
I would probably want to go take a look.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with this. I actually had like a pre-discussion a year or so on it with this project coming up. I don't believe we knew the vernal pool was there at the time. It definitely is an NOI with a limited, you know, access to get up there. And it seemed to be at the time to be very feasible. Again, you know, we can go out and take a look before so-called going crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm not red flagging anything right now. I think they'd be okay.
So, and Harry, you have anything to say before I say something?
I go along with Marilyn.
So Eric, what I suggest is
we can work out something with this.
That we schedule a site visit before the July, you know, continue this. Well, it's not even a continuation. Let's schedule a site visit before July 13th.
Sure.
And then we proceed accordingly. Are you okay with that, Eric?
I am certainly okay with that. The only thing that I will ask, and I will just note, you know, we obviously have a timeline on our end. We're trying to get this thing to bid as soon as possible. And we got a little bit of a late start. So the sooner we can schedule, the better.
Yeah, I just need to poll the chair and the other missing member. I mean, we still have to post it as a meeting because we hope to have a quorum, but you know, in the perfect world, we would try to be able to do this by the end of next week.
Sure, that's good.
Okay.
Yep, that shouldn't be an issue.
All right, and I love this part because there's never only an objection to, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, Harry. Second, Eileen.
Aye.
All right,
Great job, Bob. Thank you. All right, have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Eric. Thanks,
Thank you very
Kevin.
much. You bet, sir.